It's an important ritual at the University of Notre Dame. Before every game, Notre Dame players hit this sign that says, "Play like a champion today." Now, this particular sign wasn't put up by any of the coaches we've highlighted so far. No, it was put up only about 40 years ago by new head coach Lou Holtz. He's 87 now, and I got the chance to interview him at his Orlando home about what he says is his favorite tradition at Notre Dame.
Well, it would have to be play like a champion today, because how that came about. I get to Notre Dame late November of '85.
Delighted to be here. I'm proud to be named the 25th head football coach at the University of Notre Dame.
I checked out all the books on Notre Dame football. I wanted to read as much about it as I could. And one of the books I'm looking at, there's a picture of the team going out, hitting a sign, "Play like a champion today." And I asked what happened to that sign. Nobody knew. Nobody remembered it. But obviously it was there because I saw the picture. So I said, we're going to get that sign painted. And we're going to hit that on the way out the field. And we're going to hit it and remember all the people responsible for us to being at Notre Dame. Our parents, our teachers, our coaches. But also, we're going to understand the obligation we have by being at Notre Dame. And that's how that came about.
The artist was Lori Wenger. In a 2007 interview, she told me about the request.
Coach Holtz wants this, and said, "Play like a champion today." He wanted it in blue and gold, so I used the colors that I had at the time, and that's what he got. It ended up being part of history.
That's not the only thing Holtz brought back to Notre Dame. In 1988, he and his players won the national championship. It was in his third season, but in many ways, Holtz was starting over. That 1988 season, though, to say it was a rebuilding year, that's laughable. But it was a rebuilding year. You had to start from scratch.
We basically did.
Before the '88 season started, Holtz changed up his coaching staff. He brought in Jim Strong as his new offensive coordinator and picked a new defensive coordinator by the name of Barry Alvarez. He no longer had key players like Tim Brown.
Touchdown Irish! A leaping catch by Timmy Brown!
The Heisman Trophy winner graduated the year before, and the schedule was tough.
You looked at the schedule and you didn't know, but we didn't worry about that. We just wanted to play every game. But I remember talking to our football team in the spring of that championship season. I said to them, you don't come to Notre Dame to win some of the games. You don't come to Notre Dame to win most of the game. You come to Notre Dame to win all the games.
And in '88, they did. They went 12-0. It was a brutal schedule that started with a familiar foe.
The team.
We opened up with Michigan. You never knew how your team was going to respond, but I did know this. With Michigan being our opening game, I'd have the entire focus of our football team. There was no fooling around. They knew we had to be at our best.
Ninth-ranked Michigan fell to the Irish in '88 by a score of 19-17.
No good.
An ugly few moments down there in the end zone. Pushing and shoving broke out.
What a moment from Game 6, October 15th, 1988. The Catholics versus Convicts game. Notre Dame upset undefeated #1 ranked Miami at Notre Dame Stadium. It's still one of the most talked about games in football history, especially that ending when Miami went for 2 to win the game. The pass knocked down by Notre Dame.
It's batted on by Terrell, and the Irish may win it this afternoon.
And who could forget the final game of the regular season, #1 USC versus #2 Notre Dame in LA. That's quarterback Tony Rice running 65 yards into the end zone in just the second play of the game, setting the tone for a huge 27-10 Irish victory.
Touchdown Irish!
And so it came down to the Fiesta Bowl, #3 West Virginia versus #1 Notre Dame. The January 2nd game between two undefeated teams was handled by the Irish. The final score, 34-21, a victory that was destiny for the Irish.
You want to be as good as you could and play as well as you could, but you had an obligation to make sure that we upheld the tradition of Notre Dame. playing hard, never giving up, playing for each other, playing with sportsmanship. All those things were important, but that all builds into a national championship.
Coming up next, Lou shares what he misses most about the University of Notre Dame. And Marcus Freeman tells us why Notre Dame's traditions help secure the future of the Fighting Irish.